Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Garmin to smashing a PB in London Marathon 2025 question mark. It's been an interesting week this week as we kind of follow my journey again all the way through until London Marathon basically in 2025, which I have the place with SeeAbility. Thank you very much for them for giving me a place again in the London Marathon 2025. If you can spare any money to donate to this wonderful charity, then please see the link below in the comments. They do a fantastic job, and without them I wouldn't be in the London Marathon either. So they've given me this fantastic opportunity again, where I can really build on the experience I had this year in the London Marathon, and really try and smash a PB, which I've really want to smash. Basically, I've been around the 4:40 minute hour, 4 hours 40 minutes for a lot of runs now on the marathons, and last couple really. So I just really want to smash that, and I mean really smash that. So what I'm doing is following the Garmin plan at the moment, where basically I punched in the event on my Garmin. I've given it a ridiculously ambitious finishing time. Bearing in mind of the race predictors that the phone or the watch throws up, and via Garmin Connect, but I've given it an even more ambitious time, and we'll see how it goes. At the moment we're just base loading. We're really building the foundation to what will spring me and leap me forward through on marathon training, and that's around the Christmas time that we really hit into Christmas marathon training. And so now it's just building up, getting speed work in and all of that lot. There will be speed work later on, obviously, but we are trying to get my lactate threshold higher so I can sustain a quicker pace for longer periods of time. Because at the moment, if I try to run a marathon at that pace, I can't even, it's not going to work. I'm not even going to do a 5K in that as such. So this is what we're building. We're building the endurance and the speed and just building up the general fitness and that. So at the moment, we're on a general fitness program, and with a lot of speed work and aerobic stuff, anaerobic stuff as well. And we just keep building and building to kind of, progress later on. It's all progression. With the watch, it does take into account sleep, and also heart rate and stress and things like that, which it picks out from your heartbeat. There's like little micro beats or whatever, and it can pick these up in your pulses or whatever, and determine if you're stressed or not. It's been a interesting week this week, as we'll go through and that. It's just 4 runs again this week. All intentional to do. I record this on a Sunday, and that generally all intention to go out for a run today. It's only supposed to be a base run, I think, for about 40 minutes and that, but I went out with some friends last night, and I was sensible. Just the 2 beers and that, and I sensible, and I even caught earlier bus home or whatever. But it just, after a day of work, and I did an anaerobic session as we'll go through, and then going out on a kind of low battery anyway, it kind of put an end to that. So it's given me a rest day. So again, an active rest day as well. So what I do is some kind of strengthening exercises and that for my legs and my core, to try and just keep me powered on through, but not overdoing it today. On the sign of that, though, it does give me a base run tomorrow of 1 hour and 15 minutes. So whereas the plan has now changed tomorrow, it was supposed to only be a 35-minute threshold. So being in 1 hour and 17 minutes, I can pretty much, I'll run home from work tomorrow. But you'll see all of that in the next episode, in episode 10 next week. So but just a little bit on what's been happening today. So and that we're just kind of chilling out, resting out. I've got the Chicago Marathon on the TV as we speak, so hopefully you don't get the noise from that, or I don't get too distracted. They're just over an hour in on the men's elite, and that's what they're showing. The women go off at the same time, I think. So let's crack on though. You mean it's Monday the 7th of October. You mean I had my 38-minute base run, 139 beats per minute, and this was the first run I'd done in the dark. Now, you mean it's really getting dark now in the evenings as we approach the dark time, winter, obviously. You mean at the end of this month, the clocks go back and that. So yeah, I'm just checking it out. Full back, yeah. So yeah, you mean it's going to be safe, be seen. So high vis come out again, and all that lot. Obviously, try and stick to paths and that, and lit areas and all of that lot. So you mean if we're not safe, then we can't run. So the main idea is to stay safe and that. So yeah, base run on the Monday, 38 minutes, 139 beats per minute, as I said. It just I covered 6 minutes 30 for 32 kilometers, and I just did the loop of the surrounding area, and like I say, it's quite hilly, whatever. Just normal. I mean, it's just. These are like a normal run now. You mean it's nothing. It's like, okay, right, this is what I've got to do. Go and do it. I mean, because it's slightly a little bit longer, I did throw a little loop in the Borat Slug as well, just to kind of bulk out the time and that. So I'm beginning to judge the pace or the distances I can get on these runs. I did have a slightly higher heart rate. It was 143, but you mean if the people that have actually watched the videos through, that all my runs are pretty much slightly higher than they should be. But on the Tuesday, it gave me a rest, and that I'm not putting it down that I've got a cold or anything like that, but I think there's been a lot of sickness at work, and I think that it's something that we have to look into at this time of the year anyway. And that, I know when I've been sleeping, I do feel a little bit blocked in the nose or something, but nothing sickness, you know what I mean? I'm not going to put that down as any excuses or anything, but it just feels that, my body's been trying to fight something maybe, or just keeping something at bay. So, it's something I need to look into and just be wary and keep the vitamins up and all that lot, just to try and stay healthy. And that, so rest day on a Tuesday, then on Wednesday another base run. I think again, it's showing signs of fatigue or whatever, bad night's sleep, and all this lot. So again, I think it's just the body's way of saying slow down a little bit. It's been intense, and that a lot of changes as well in my life. New workplace and things like that. So. Although that for me is for all the better, I can kind of relax a little bit more and that, and obviously get to enjoy running without any deadlines as such. So on the Wednesday, we hit another base one, so it's 36 minutes, 142 beats per minute was my average, but it was a quicker pace at 6:04 kilometers, and that was basically because I did that in town, in the city. So I did that. It's flatter. And I think this shows from the basic average paces and things like that. You can see that there's less account of the hills or whatever, and it's more flat race kind of scenario. So it's a quicker pace and that. So that's basically that. It was. Nothing special, nothing exciting as such. Just normal runs, which the base runs should be the majority of these runs. But at the moment, because of my pacing that I need for the London Marathon 2025, that Garmin is probably pushing me a little bit more to do some of these speed works. But when we get later on in the plan, I'm thinking it will really cut into the base runs, and that's where a majority of my runs will come in. So yeah, then we hit Thursday and on a threshold session, and I went down to the track. So yeah, off to the track today. Just thought I'd give it a spin out. I've got a threshold. It's actually supposed to be tomorrow, but there's a base run today because of bad sleep, blah blah. Not been feeling great this week, I'm not gonna lie. I've felt a bit fatigued, but today really suits for me, you know, to get this threshold done. I'd rather do it on a day off than try and do it after a day at work tomorrow. So it gives me a chance to get to the track, and so that's what I'm doing. Just going off to the track today. I've got my race day shoes on today. I want to give them another spin. See if you see them. Yeah, got these. Obviously went a bit crazy at the expo at London this year, and but you know, these are my first carbon plated shoes, so they are the ones I'm going to plan to run in the London Marathon next year. And so we'll see what we got. But today is threshold, as I said. It's 2 times 16 minutes at 165, I think. The information will be below. I have to remember this, and the actual stats will be there shortly. And as I get this done, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this. You mean, just see how tired my body is though, because it does say it's a bit tired. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, let's get this workout done. So that's it. Just driven back from the track. Just letting that sink in a little bit, really. That session. I got a new PB on the 10k. 54 minutes and 4 seconds. It's yeah. How? I did walking. You mean it was a 57 minute session, yeah, and that's 10-minute warm up, a slow pace, 16 minutes quick, and it was quick. It was 4 minutes 38 on the first set, 4 minutes 38 seconds per kilometer average, and then the second session was 4:47, 4:44, I think. It's all down there. Per minutes per kilometer. So you mean it's a lot quicker than my marathon pace, or will be my marathon pace anyway, and that. So you mean it was a push out workout, but there's a 5-minute recovery in between those 16 minutes. And I walked for a minute and a bit, just to get my heart rate back down, because it was a low heart rate that I need to get to. And then after the other bit, it's again, you mean another 10-minute cool down. So to hit a PB where I wasn't pushing, you mean, I'm not saying I could sustain that pace. You mean, there was part of me thinking that maybe I could do a 5k and keep going on a 5k, but wow, you know what I mean? That was unintentional. Makes you wonder, you know what I mean? Makes you really wonder what you can achieve and all that lot. And that's why I love all of this. And is it the shoes? You mean, I took my New Balance Rebel Cell Super Duper Elites or whatever version 4s. You mean, I had them with me today. Love them. Nice. And that. You mean, the track's kind of gravelly, so it's not like a asphalt or anything like that. So it'd be interesting to take them out on a proper road, which will be my London Marathon shoe next year. But this is their second outing, and they got 10k, and I got a PB in them. Wow, that's just crazy. You know what I mean? It's not even a workout that is fully running. And that, so yeah, it makes you kind of want, and apparently I'm tired. You know what I mean? My Garmin's telling me I'm tired, I'm not rested, I should be recovering, and all this stuff, and I go out and whack that out. So yeah, I just wanted to share that a bit. You know what I mean? I'm over the moon with that. I'll catch you guys later. Yeah, I still can't get over that run. That was fantastic. And speaking to a friend, and they said to me that, Garmin's just a suggestion, so maybe I should just go out and crack one, long run as such, at a steady pace and see what I can do. I get that, and I do think that, but at the moment, I don't think it's quite right. I'm following this plan. I'm enjoying this plan. I do think about it a little bit, and that, but also this week's not the right week. I do feel tired in my legs when I do these kind of thresholds and things like that. I pretty much wear compression socks up to my knees when I'm at home a lot, just to try and aid recovery and all that lot. And it's, you feel it. You feel that you're doing all these runs and that. So, but it's something to look into for the future. But as much as I want PBs in things as well, I kind of want to obviously keep the balance and maintain a good training schedule and that. But yeah, a PB, and I wasn't even running it all. It's just still mind blowing sometimes. But that's running, and that's those unexpected surprises just make it even more worthwhile. If you're going out for a PB, then great. But if you're just doing a session that, you thought maybe you could try and push a 5K, but you wasn't like, oh, hang on a minute, that's not long enough for me to do the 5K in that sprint session and that or tempo session bit. But then you don't even think of the bigger picture of the 10K, and then all of a sudden, boom, you hit 10K. And it was, literally only, half a kilometre over my actual whole session. I did 10.5K that day. And so still mind-blowingly crazy. And really enjoyed that. So, with that effort, obviously Friday, and I'm saying body's feeling fatigued to a point, gave me the day off. And so I took that day off, and knowing that there was an aerobic session on the Saturday, which I'm not going to lie, I wasn't sure if it was going to stick, or did I really want to do that? I've been looking at my VO Max or VO2 Max thing from my watch, and I know it's not scientifically proven or whatever, but you see videos on YouTube and they do say it's pretty accurate. And I'm on 49 at the moment on my V2O Max. I kind of hope to bump it up. I would be hit 50 and increase and improve. The whole thing is progression anyway. So I know that lot. But the anaerobic session stood when I got up on the Saturday. It's work. Work's work. And it's a stressful job as well. When you're working in kitchens, it's not the easy job. It's not just messing about and having fun. It's work. A lot of things to think about and all that. Like, it's physically demanding as well as mentally demanding, and especially in the rush periods and things like that. So, I hit the Saturday, did my work. It was an early start in the morning as well. So there's that element of lack of sleep there where you don't sleep as well as you could because you've got to get up earlier and that. But with starting on the earlier shift gives me an earlier finish. So then, I managed to get this running with nice time. So I did a session pretty much around Bergen Centrum. There's a big loop that a lot of people do around there. You've seen me do the loops and that. I've spoken about them on here. But blimey, it was windy, really windy, and that. So running in, one of the directions, it was, you're going into the wind and that, and it was tough, and that. So I did one loop and that, and I knew that I was going to go back and then have to do it again, the loop and that. So what I did in the end is a bit like the anaerobic session I did last week, where I found the stretch of road and go backwards and forwards. I know this is for 1 minute extra. So the aerobic session was 7 times 1 minute 4 minutes 15 kilometer pace. So I hit the 1 minute session and turn around, run back a little bit, done again. So I don't do so well on these kind of runs because I can't get the pacing properly yet. I covered 1.71 kilometers in the actual intervals, and the whole session actually covered 8.36 kilometers, which was, it didn't seem like it, I can tell you that. These runs, it doesn't really look like that or feel like that. And so the quickest one was way too quick. I went at 3 minutes 53 kilometers per pace, and but my slowest was also 4 minutes 27 per kilometer pace. So I can't nail these yet. Heart rate, fine. Get me in a heart rate and I can pretty much get there or be there and stay there. But the pacing bit, I find that a little bit off still. So it's something I need to work on myself. I know that. And to keep progressing on that. But I averaged for the whole session on those intervals 4 minute 06 kilometer pace. But it's not right, and maybe because it was too quick, maybe that kind of forced me into the bad kind of bit where the training changes again. I don't know how it's going to stick later on, if it sticks. Be interesting to speak to some of the others that have done kind of what I'm doing about this. And how much their plans might change or whatever. That's why I don't actually write out the plan, because it just changes all the time. But it could be interesting to see what does. If I write out the plan, I need help with Excel sheets or something like that as well, because I'm useless at computers. But if someone done that, then I could fill in what I'm supposed to run and then what my plan actually changes to on the day. That could be quite interesting to see how it does differ and all of that lot. So yeah, that's basically the running for the week. So yeah, with just the 4 runs this week, I averaged, well, I didn't average, it was 31.2 kilometers for the week. It's a little dip again, but there was some quality runs in there. Obviously, that threshold with a PB and a 10K was fantastic. The anaerobic, I didn't feel went quite well with the sprint intervals, or kind of longer lasting intervals. Sprinting's wrong because it's too quick. I was too quick, but I didn't feel that run went that well. But it got what I needed, I guess. It's still progression on that, but after that, it was telling me that the training's been becoming strained, and I need to rest and all this lot. Waking up this morning and I got marked 2 points or something to training readiness, and everything is poor and fatigued, and so today's just been chilled out. I did a little bit of exercising and that, just more stretching and kind of body weight exercises or whatever, but nothing crazy, nothing strenuous. I'm going to have a really low step count today as well, and all that lot. So it's been a bit of a mix-up week for me. Normal runs and that. I say but I enjoy it. It's running. So, but it's just like that normal base and slow, steady and that. Then what? PB's a PB, yeah. Can't take that away now. It's a fantastic, and then, but a little bit demoralizing today. Waking up and everything's just crashed and burned. Hoping, obviously, it's just that, and I'll keep the vitamins up high and all that lot, and try and kind of keep myself going. I feel healthy. And that's not a problem, but there's obviously some signs there, and there has been a little bit of stress throughout the week, but it's just different things. It's normal, it's life, and that so you mean I'm not wrapped up in cotton wool. So you mean we'll deal with that. You mean, and then we'll just crack on next week as normal. I'm still running more than what I did last year, so you mean that's a bonus. So looking forward to continuing and all that lot, and let's hit this week with what it is, and that highs and lows though. Yeah, it's running, and that. So please again, donate to the fantastic charity. I really can't stress this enough. The more money I raise now, the less stress I have later on trying to get the rest of the money as well. So please, if you can donate something, please donate. Click like and subscribe. Again, let me have your comments, your thoughts. Follow me on Instagram. It's again a Neil a dad that runs. And and join me for the next episode. Hope you guys all have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. Hi up.